I'm the tutor for crime prevention principles on the policing diploma. This presentation is with regard to assignment-based contact classes for 2018. Once again, good afternoon. Our scope basically is the tutor introduction, aims of the contact classes, the structure of the assignment itself, the continuous assessment calculation of the marks, how you're going to prepare for your assignment and the tips thereof, the outline and scope, and then the conclusion. So my name, as I said, is George Jacob. Briefly, I'm your tutor. I have a BTech degree in forensic investigation with UNISA. My previous experiences are that I was a police officer for 20 years, spent in the investigative field as a detective. Throughout the policing career, I have spent time as an investigator. I've spent time as a unit commander, where I had about close to between 10 and 25 personnel under me. I've spent time as a regional crime investigation coordinator officer, assisting the regional crime investigation coordinator. That was in the late up to 2013. I'm currently employed with the Bank of Namibia Financial Intelligence Center as a senior financial analyst. Now, the aims of these contact classes are basically to help you to prepare for your assignment due in January 2018, to find the most or the best possible change for you to be able to do well, for me to discuss the structure of the assignment with you and to explain how continuous assessment works. Now, basically the assignment will be structured as follows. It has got two main questions, which is within question 1 and question 2. Question 1 has got sub-questions, which is from 1.1 to 1.4, and question 2 consists of 2.1 to 2.2. Basically, you need to answer them accordingly and number them. These questions are coming from a study guide provided by Iol. You may be expected to discuss, outline, define, list, or analyze and name some of the answers. Please look at the mark allocation, which is ranging from 4 to 30 marks in the question. So, which means that some of the questions may be 4 points, others may be 30 points that you will have to answer. As with regard to the continuous assessment and the calculation of the marks, the inclusion of the continuous assessment and calculation of marks in the presentation is to ensure that you as a student take both the assignment and examination marks seriously and sign this and align your study accordingly. So the continuous assessment per module consists of 120 marks. You would be required to have a 50% continuous assessment mark to be admitted for examinations. A final pass mark of 50% is required as well, calculated by 60% of the examination and 40% of your continuous assessment mark. A sub minimum of 50% must be attained in the examination. So if you don't make it to 50, you will not pass the examination. So you, for example, let's suppose your assignment continuous assessment mark is 50 and your examination mark is 50. It will be calculated as 40% of 50, which is 20. It's worked out the way of 50 times 40 over 100, and your examination mark will be 60% of 50, which is 30. So it will be 50 times 60 divided by 100. So your final mark will then be 20 plus 30, which is 50. The setting and marking of the examination papers are moderated. So after it has been marked. The preparation of your assignment and tips will be, please read questions in your assignment carefully. Before you even start doing anything else, you need to read through the questions and try to understand them. Secondly, carefully read the topics in the module to prepare the correct answer. You may be confused. It may be that you're confused of different topics, so make sure that you read the topics as well. Consult relevant books. In example, go and look for the answer in your study guide. It must be somewhere in the study guide to prepare the correct answer. Also consult relevant experienced personnel that may be of assistance in the field of policing. For example, police officer. What I would strongly suggest you do not do is to ask the police officers to do the assignment on your behalf. Please refrain from that. You are not to provide only answers strictly related to the study guide, provided your answer remains relevant. So by this it is meant you can also rephrase the answer to whatever is asked, provided that what you are answering will be in line with the question. You can't give me a different answer and expect to get the mark for that. Also, attach the correct assignment cover to the assignment to avoid disqualification of your assignment. Yes, you heard correct, disqualification of your assignment. Make sure that the assignment that you have, that it has got the correct assignment cover. Write answers only on one side of the page. Yeah, with this it is meant, even if whether it is handwritten or whether it is typed, preferably typed, but if you happen to write it, make sure that the answer or whatever you're writing is only written on the one side of the page and not both sides. It is extremely difficult during marking, so you are urged to make sure that you only write on the one page. You can continue on the second page on the other side, but not on the reverse side of the page. When answering the assignment questions, write the question and then the answer. It is preferable that you first write the question and then answer. That way it is easy to make out that your answer starts here and ends here. It happens that most of the time paragraphs are written, and if you write in paragraphs, I would not be able to distinguish between where you started with your answer and where you ended. And it is extremely difficult because at times you are not numbering the answers as it appears in the questionnaire. Mark your answers either with bullets or numbers. Avoid paragraphing. It should be clear. Make sure that you either number them according to the questions, or if you prefer to number them differently, make sure they are numbered. The paragraph style of writing makes it extremely difficult to distinguish between the answers that you are giving and dumping of irrelevant questions. Please, if you happen to write your assignment and not type it, write clearly and legible. Number your answers according to the assignment questions where possible. Look at the mark allocation to guide you on the amount of answers you are supposed to provide. It happens a lot that only two answers are given, yet if you look at the answering or the answer to be provided, you are required to provide 10 points. Refrain from or avoid dumping relevant and irrelevant facts at the same time. Please ensure that you do not mix irrelevant answers with relevant answers. This may lead you to lose valuable points. Now, in conclusion, I would want to give you a few tips apart from what you have already taken in. Remember, one fact, 1 mark. So if you give me 10 facts, you'll receive 10 marks. But if you give me 3 facts, you can't expect to get 10 marks. The framework of the exam investigation requires that you know and understand the concepts and techniques, number your facts or use bullet points, avoid dumping relevant, irrelevant facts simultaneously, This usually causes for the marker to search for answers. If you write 10 marks, expect 10 marks. But if you expected to write 20 marks, please write 20 marks. Follow these instructions closely. If you work on an assignment, look closely to the questions posed. Use your best handwriting if you send in a handwritten assignment. Short questions may be included as well. Wish you all the best for the assignment preparations.